Hello crafty friends, I'm Lean from Studio Kato and I'm so happy you're joining me again for another video. Today I am sharing one of my favorite coloring mediums that I don't get out as much as I'd like. I am doing this as part of a Reverse Confetti blog hub, so make sure you check out the information in the description below to find all the inspiration along the way. Now I'm starting out with this beautiful Reverse Confetti stamp set. This is the Autumn Apple Cider stamp set, and it has this gorgeous bold apple image, and I am going to stamp that all over my card panel. Now this panel is watercolor cardstock, and I cut it quite a bit larger than I need it to be because I want to tape the sides down later to hold it in place while I do my watercoloring, and I also want to die cut from this. So cutting your panel a little bit larger is usually a great way to make things easier for yourself. Now I stamped the apples in the middle first, then I repositioned the stamp and I move it the same amount of squares on my Misti grid mat every time. It's really easy to make this pattern. I stamped this in Versafine Onyx black ink, so I added some clear gloss embossing powder, which is very helpful when you're doing watercoloring, and I heat set that. Now, to do this coloring, again, I'm using one of my favorite mediums that I don't get out too often because I gotta be honest, the packaging is really annoying. These come in gorgeous bottles, but they're quite clunky. So you need quite a bit of desk space to lay them out, and you better use a palette to eyedropper in some of the liquid watercolors. It's just more of a hassle to use these than my regular watercolors. That's why I don't get these out more, but they are better than my usual watercolors. These are the Ecoline liquid watercolors, and they are so vibrant. It shocks me every time, probably because I don't get them out enough. But what I do is I just paint the entire apple image with some clear water. I make sure that it's very wet so all of the paint can flow inside it, and I drop in some colors. I'm using greens and red and orange, and they all blend beautifully together. I am not patient enough to wait for them to blend together, so I do help them along with my paintbrush, but I try not to interfere too much. I just make sure that everything is covered in color. I filled up all the apples this way, and it looks so vibrant. That red is so stunning in real life. I hope it comes out well on camera, so you can also enjoy the red. I love this fall card. I'm going to do the same with the leaves, but I'm not dropping in water for all of them because I realized that the small spaces in between the lines, they don't lend themselves too much to letting the color flow in between them. So I just painted them with 2 shades of green. Now, to make this panel a little bit more interesting, I made it a scalloped edge, and I did that with the Easter cover panel die by Reverse Confetti. So it just cuts out that scalloped edge all the way around the card. I did cut my card base a little bit smaller so it would fit behind the scallops and you wouldn't see a rectangle behind it, and I just glued that on. Now this is a very bold pattern, a very bold background, and to break it up a little bit, I wanted to add a frame. I cut this with 2 basic rectangle dies, or 1 basic rectangle die actually, I just remembered. I just trimmed out a rectangle with my paper trimmer, and I centered a rectangle die on top of that. I did that twice on craft cardstock, and that gives me a frame. It's a really easy way to create a frame, but I gotta be honest, I'm not the best at lining up the die in exactly the same spot more than 1 time. So doing it twice was already a bit of a miracle. Usually I would like some more dimension behind this, but I figured twice was pushing my luck already. I'm going to finish this off with a sentiment, also by Reverse Confetti, and Reverse Confetti has the most beautiful sentiment dies, and they were released a while ago, but they're always going to be one of my favorite dies. These are the word duo die sets, and like the name suggests, you get 2 words in one die set, and this is from the Thanks and Hello die set. So it's definitely a must-have, and I use these all the time. I really, really like the font of these, and they're very bold, but still very scripty, which I think is a beautiful combination. I die cut that twice from white cardstock and once from a matte gold cardstock, which just screams fall to me for some reason, probably because it's such a warm color, and I layered those up for extra dimension. I'm finishing it up with some gems. These are by Crafty Meraki, and I'm gluing those on with Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive. All of the supplies I used will be linked in the description below, so you can check those out. And I hope you really like this card, because I do. I love the colors. I am so happy with how this card turned out. I mean, I say this all the time if I use my Ecoline inks. But I really should get these out more often. They're a joy to paint with. If you're looking for more watercolor mediums to explore, I highly recommend these. I have a ton of fun playing around with these every time I use them. You can buy individual bottles. I have the... Is it a 12 pack or is it an 8 pack? I think it's a 10 pack, but it's 10 bottles in one box, and they're a great selection of colors. I'll try to find the exact set I have and link that below as well. That's a great starter set, and it's really all you need since you can easily mix these. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time.